Hi guys, we are going to work on 1-3 additional practice. So let's get started. We're multiplying fractions. Okay, we do need to simplify, and a multiplication chart will be really handy for you to have during this process. Okay, so when we look at this problem, we need to see if we can simplify by the cross numbers, okay, so the diagonal numbers. So 4 and 3 cannot simplify down any further, neither can 7 and 2. You can't divide anything out of those numbers to reduce them. So we just get to multiply straight across. So when we multiply, we go straight across. So 4 times 2 is 8. 7 times 3 is 21. If you don't know what those facts are, that's okay. You may use the multiplication chart at any time, so have that handy. Okay, I'm going to simplify here. So 1 and 12 can't simplify because 1 is as low as we can go, so we can't reduce anything out of there. And then we can't reduce anything out of 2 and 11 because the only thing we can reduce from 2 is 2. And we can't divide 2 out of 11 because 11 is an odd number. So we cannot simplify any further. 1 times 11 is 11. 2 times 12 is 24. When we look at this one, we have 2 and 4. We can reduce that. How I do that is I write down the factor. So I know that 2 times 1 equals 2, and I know that 2 times 2 equals 4. So I cross off the one that's alike. I cross off my 2, and I keep the one that's left. Okay? I can't reduce 1 and 5 because 1 is as low as it goes. So now I can just multiply straight across. So I have 1 times 1 is 1, and 5 times 2 is 10. 4 through 7, find each product. So these ones, I'm just simplifying and multiplying, okay? I don't have to wheel any of these ones. So when I look at 1 and 4, I can't simplify. 1 is as small as it goes. When I look at 3 and 8, I can't simplify because I cannot divide 3 out of 8. Okay? So 3 times 1 is 3. 4 times 8 is 32. It's as low as it goes. 5, I love it when these happen. When I have a 9 and a 9, they're the same number. I can cross them off and make them 1. Okay? Then I have 8 and 10. I can simplify these. I can reduce them. I can divide a 2 out of both of them, and I'll show you how. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 5 is 10. My 2 is in common, so I cross that off and I keep my other number. Now I just multiply. 4 times 1 is 4. 1 times 5 is 5. This lovely thing happened again. I have 3's that are the same, so I can replace them with 1's. I cannot simplify 2 and 7 any further because I cannot divide 2 out of 7 evenly. So I just multiply. 1 times 2 is 2. 7 times 1 is 7. This lovely thing happened again. My 5's are the same. I replace them with 1's. I cannot reduce 1 and 6 any further because 1 is as low as we want to go. Okay? So now I can just multiply. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 6 is 6. Alright, 8 through 11, this is where it gets a little bit trickier. I have a few more steps, okay? I need 4 as a fraction. So I write it over 1. 4 over 1 is the same as 4, okay? I need to multiply it, but I need this as a fraction as well, and right now it's a mixed number. So I have to wheel. I take 4 times 6, which is 24. Then I take that number and add it to 1, which is 25. And I keep my same denominator over 4. Okay? The lovely thing happened. I have my 4's here that are the same. I cross them off and make them 1's. I can't reduce 1 and 25 because 1 is as low as it goes, so I just multiply. 1 times 25 is 25. 1 times 1 is 1. Well, 25 over 1 is really the same thing as 25. Okay? I have to wheel both of these. So I do 3 times 3 is 9, plus 2 is 11. Keep my same denominator of 3. 4 times 2 is 8, plus 3 is 11. Keep my same denominator of 4. Okay? And you may say, yay, Mrs. Flax, look, you have 2 11s. We can cross those off and make them 1's. I can't. I can only simplify if it's at the diagonal. Okay? I cannot simplify 3 and 11, and I cannot simplify 4 and 11. So I just multiply. Okay? 11 times 11 is 121. 3 times 4 is 12. Okay? I cannot leave it this way. My big number's on the top. I don't want my big number on the top. So now I call this unwheeling, or changing it into a mixed number. How many 12s go into 121? Well, look down your 12 column until you find a number close to 121 without going over. So I found 120. When I bring my finger over, I see that it was 10 times. So I can pull a full 10 out of there. I can make 10 groups of 12. So I know that 10 times 12 is 120. So if I've used 120 of these up, how many more do I have left? I only have 1 left. And what's my denominator? 12. Okay? 7/8. Now I have to wheel. 6 times 4 is 24, plus 1 is 25. My denominator is 6. That always stays the same. Can I reduce anything? I can't. I can't reduce anything from 7 and 6, and I can't reduce anything from 8 and 25. So 7 times 25, if you're not sure, go to your, what happened here? Go to your chart. We have 25 times 7 is 175. And 6 times 8 is 48. Okay? This is where it gets a little trickier. How many 48s go into 175? I'm just going to guess. And I'm going to guess right because I know. But I'm just going to guess. So 48 is close to 50. Okay? And so if I did 4 50s, that would be 200. And that would be too much. So I'm going to do 3 of them. Okay? So 3 times 8 is 24. 3 times 4 is 12. Plus 2, 13, 14. Okay? So 48 goes into 175 3 whole times. If I used 144 of the 175, how many are left? Well, I have to do the math. Okay? 5 minus 4 is 1. 7 minus 4 is 3. So I have 31 left. And what's my denominator? 48, it always stays the same. There you go. Alright, number 11. 1 and 1/2. Let's wheel it. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3, over my denominator of 2, times 4 times 2 is 8, plus 3 is 11, denominator of 4. I cannot reduce out of any of those. So I have 3 times 11 is 33, 2 times 4 is 8. I need to unwheel it or make it into a mixed number. 8 goes into 33 how many times? Let's look down the 8 column. I found 32, went in 4 times. 4 whole times. 4 times 8 is 32. So if I used up 32 of these, how many do I have left? I have 1 left over 8. My denominator doesn't change. Okay. Keisha is riding her bike on Bayview Bike Path. Keisha's bike got a flat tire 2/3 of the way down the path, so she had to stop. How far did Keisha ride? Well, Bayview Bike Path is 7/8 of a mile, and she made it 2/3 of a mile. Okay? I can't reduce these ones, but I can reduce this. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 4 is 8. I cross off the one that's the same. I keep the other number. Now I multiply. 7 times 1 is 7. 4 times 3 is 12. So she made it 7/12 of a mile before she got a flat tire. The Cityscape Bike Path is 2/3 of times longer than the Bayview Bike Path. What is the length of the Cityscape Bike Path? Well, the Bayview Bike Path is 7/8 of a mile, and the Cityscape is 2 2/3 times longer. So I have to do this math. So I don't do anything with 7/8, but I do have to change this. I have to wheel it. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 2 is 8, over my denominator of 3. I love it when this happens, right? So 8's cross off, change to 1. Now I can multiply. 7 times 1 is 7. 1 times 3 is 3. Now I have to make it into a mixed number. So how many 3's go into 7? 2 whole 3's, okay? And I know 2 times 3 is 6, so if I've used up 6 of them, I have 1 left over 3. So the Cityscape Bike Path is 2 1/3 miles. Okay? Number 14. Vincent found a recipe for banana macadamia nut bread that uses 3/4 cups of macadamia nuts. If he wants to make only half the recipe, how many cups of macadamia nuts should Vincent use? This is important. Half. If he needs 3/4 of a cup for a whole recipe, and he just wants to use half of that, what is it? You guys are going to work on that, okay? Thinking higher order thinking, if 1/2 is multiplied by 1/2, will the product be greater than 1/2? Explain. So let's say I have a whole square. I cut that square in half because this half is mine. Okay? So if I have this half and I multiply it by a half or cut it in half again, I'm only going to have a portion of that, right? So if I times 1/2 and a half, is it going to be bigger than 1/2 or smaller? Okay? So will the product be greater? No. 1/2 times 1/2 equals what? 1 times 1 is 1. 2 times 2 is 4. 1/4. It'll be smaller. Okay? 16. Of the apps on Juan's tablet, 3/4 are gaming apps and 5/7 of the gaming apps are action apps. What fraction of the apps are action apps? So if he has 3/4 of them are apps times 5/7 gaming apps, see what you can do. In gym class, Matthew runs 3/4 of a mile. His gym teacher runs 3 times that distance. How far does Matthew's gym teacher run? Well, if Matthew runs 3/4 of a mile and his gym teacher runs 3 times more. How do I change 3 into a fraction? 3 over 1. See how far Matthew's gym teacher runs. Okay, don't forget to reduce if you need to. When you're looking back at this, I don't see any reduction. Can't reduce. So far can't reduce. So you just multiply. 18. Patrick walks 9/10 of a mile to the gym. How far has he walked when he has covered 2/3 of the distance? So if he's gone 9/10 and we multiply it by 2/3, what do we get? Well, I can reduce on both of these. Okay, 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 3 is 9. I cross off the ones that are the same. I keep the ones that are left. 1 times 2 is 2. 2 times 5 is 10. I cross off the ones that are the same and keep the other. So when I multiply, I get 3 times 1 is 3. 5 times 1 is 5. Okay? So you just need to do 14, 16, and 17 multiplying by yourself. All right. Hope that helps.